Trojan horse. Noun, Greek mythology. A hollow wooden statue of a horse, in which the Greeks concealed themselves in order to enter Troy. Figurative, a person or thing, intended secretly to undermine or bring about the downfall of an enemy or opponent. The rebels may use this piece called as a Trojan horse to try and take over. In the year 2009, the people of the greatest nation ever sleep, not even realizing the evil that is lurking all about them. Here and there, some of these people wake up to this horror, trying desperately to shake the people around them awake. The reality is they know it was created for them. By living in this reality, the people of that great nation remains asleep, thinking everything is normal, not seeing the traps that have been set right in front of them. This is nothing less than a modern-day Trojan horse. The claims brought forward in this documentary is an attempt to bring awareness to human consciousness. Most of the information was retrieved from the internet during the time when all information was accessible and not being censored. The subject matter deals with the true history of the world, and not the history that has been spoon-fed to us by the educational system, government scholars, and the media. It touches on world religions, politics and government, and a hidden agenda that has been flying under the radar for hundreds of years. Because of the sensitivity of this material, it is highly suggested that you do your own research. It is going to be hard to find the claims here, elsewhere, other than the internet, unless you know what to look for. This documentary is the work of one person that has awakened to a sinister plot going on around them. It first started with several dreams, combined with information they stumbled upon that revealed the true meaning of the so-called world in which they live. And that world is only an illusion. waking up, Dream 1. It was after the terror attacks of September the 11th, 2001. I'm a passenger in the back of this Jeep. The Jeep was traveling across a terrain. Occasionally, there were small rivers that we had to cross. There were no bridges, and we had no choice but to go through them. In this dream, there were also other people there that had come in contact with the water at some point. These people simply were not the same after they were exposed to it. I noticed it was turning them into a zombie-like state. In this same dream, I am now on a roller coaster filled with other people, but it is running along the ground. When it came to the streams, it had to dip through them, leaving me and the rest of the people again no choice but to be exposed to the water. At the point where the coaster dips through it, two old ladies were there making sure that everyone had gone through. But before we reached the water, I jumped off and ran up to them and say, I was supposed to be on that coaster, but I had fallen off. Most dreams that people have are immediately forgotten once they wake up, but this dream stayed with me until I found out what the meaning of it was several years ago.
Pushed a button and elected him to office, and up he pushed a button and it dropped a bomb. You pushed a button and can watch it on the television.
During this time in 2002, a friend of mine was telling me how corrupt the Bush family was, and their ties with the Bin Laden family, and the strings that certain people were pulling behind the scenes, like James Baker and others. At this time, none of this made any sense to me, but I didn't forget what I had been told. In 2003, I was watching the Iraq War unfold on Fox News and on CNN. As I was watching, I remembered thinking, why would they name the bombing of the country Shock and Awe, when obviously many innocent people were being killed? Something just wasn't right about all of this, and I soon started getting my news from online. But again, it was coming from merely the same sources.
And he signs his name with the capital J.